Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerdverse Odyssey, episode 32? 32, right?
32.
Oh my, every fucking time Glenn mutes himself. Anyway.
Right? I was going to say, yes, you can't count, Nico.
Never claimed that I could. Anyway, episode 32. I'm your host, 2 chromosomes short of a Happy Meal, Mr. Nico. How you doing, everybody? And I'm going to throw it to Hunter, the sweet, sweet, lovable, terrible pencil mustache Hunter, to insult Rico and Glenn because I got nothing this week. Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, he's the one that got all the extra chromosomes that you don't have.
You got that low budget villain mustache.
Did I what?
You walk around with that 13-year-old prepubescent peach fuzz on your face, and you felt the need to insult my mustache.
Had to.
I'm pretty sure it's penciled in.
I'm positive he has it penciled in. No,
not
actually,
penciled.
You know what? I'm going to give him a little credit. He actually grew some form of facial hair because I can see him pulling his face sideways every time he tries to pretend like he's stroking something on there. But what he doesn't tell you is he also went to a tattoo artist and started having them just tattoo those little dots in there to fill it out so it looks bushier than it really is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did fantastic work.
Yeah. But I do
I
have...
love how facial hair is a measure of one's worth on this podcast. And I appreciate that that's a value that me and Rico edify. Rico more than me, I'll admit.
Rico is a hairy fucker, let's be fair.
That implies that you've seen all my hair on my body, and that I don't feel comfortable
Dude,
with
I see it poking out of your shirt.
I cannot wait for the day that I can braid your back hair.
I don't have no really no hair on my chest.
Oh, you're like me, the 5 nipple hairs. Nice. What up, bro?
No.
Oh. So anyways,
Hunter, insult somebody else, intro at people.
Speaking of back hair, what did the Green Ranger say when he broke the Megazord? Sorry, guys.
Oops, I did it again.
I Dino messed up.
Oh. I Dino messed up.
That joke is dynamite.
That is so stupid.
I mean, it's
okay.
It just barely just crosses the threshold to be considered a joke, and that's what makes it great.
Perfect. And
with that, would you shut the fuck up? Nobody cares about your voice. I'm now going to pass it to my Puerto Rican brother from another mother, Mr. Rico Suave.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Feeling good, feeling great, drinking water. Yeah, just moisturizing and just taming this beast of a beard. So, I'm feeling great, feeling good. So, I'm gonna hand it off to my bearded brother, Glenn. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I like this ping pong effect thing. That's kind of cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
Popcorning in the tech world.
Fuck you.
Hey, everybody. So, yeah, my legs don't work like they used to before because my dear coach, we call her V, she has now moved on to culinary school, and I purchased a loaf of hers. It is a rosemary garlic loaf. It is spectacular. However, the people that replaced her, needless to say, I've been abusing my legs to no end. The point where I don't walk so good right now. Like, I swear to God, I reached muscle failure twice during the course of my lifting exercise. And that never typically happens because, I used to be heavy and now I'm lighter. And, yeah, it was kind of strange. So, what's up? I'm your local gimp, Glenn. What's up?
So Glenn, if we need, I hear Diddy has at least 1,000 bottles of baby oil if you need some. Like, you shouldn't go that raw with it.
Is it too soon to talk about the Vaseline Bandit?
I was gonna say, I could just, instead of walking around, I could just slide around like a seal, on my
but the
extra skin that I have.
That there's reports that there may have been some either enhancing drugs or possibly some type of drugs in there. So take your pick. You got 1 in 1,000 chance.
Wait, are you saying that there's drugged baby oil that was picked up at Diddy's
That was the
house?
latest. I'm gonna call it a rumor. That latest that came out on Twitter.
I'm starting to think, like, I know the skin is super absorbable,
like
but
GHB in it.
Oh.
You'll find out. You'll find.
Damn. Who's the one guy whose job was to make 1,000 bottles of GHB laced baby oil? I mean,
Somebody who probably
I don't
hates
know.
their job.
I was going to say there's this one guy with like a little drop. He's like, fucking hate this. Like.
I mean, it depends.
Occasionally passing out because baby oil like spills and slips and like it slips out of his hand and goes bloosh, in the face, GHB. 4 hours later, fuck, gotta get up and do it again.
Hey, that just means he gets overtime on those days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He wakes up. Why does my ass hurt?
Listen, that's what the
He's
occupational
walking out
hazard
the
pay
room,
is
like-
for. OSHA's been over this many times.
Who was that one guy that was he was on getting interviewed about P Diddy's parties? And he was like, "Man, you don't want to bring new booty over to over to Diddy's house because he's gonna get it." And somebody was like, "So you don't want to bring your girlfriend to Diddy's house?" He's like, "Oh, he doesn't care about the girlfriend. He wants you." And I was like, "Damn." It's like.
Oof.
P. Diddy,
It's
he's
like
taking
the
that,
Boondocks.
Dude, there's been
is-
some shit coming out
the
about
booty
P.
warrior.
Diddy. It is insane.
Yeah, P. Diddy
I'm
took-
just saying, like this homies over hose trilogy, saga that we're having here. It borders on the incredulous that like how like reality's stranger than fiction. I mean, like I could tell a story. The Regina King tells stories with Boondocks, spectacular stories. Nobody could get this close to how strange this Diddy story is. And as it
Hey man,
continues to
Diddy
develop-
just got that thug in love.
I
Tug
really,
and love.
really appreciate that I managed to get us off track with just one little comment. But now that we are,
Thug
I
and
don't know
love.
if you,
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if you looked at the news today, but Diddy's lawyer had argued that
Oh yeah.
the 1,000 bottles of baby oil that he had, it was really just him being economical, and it was a bulk purchase order. To which Costco then had to respond that they do not sell 1,000 bottles of baby oil to bulk orders to anyone.
And it's
Imagine
like,
you just-
and honestly, if you're going to bulk order that sort of stuff, apparently, like, you can purchase barrels of the stuff, and they do for like medical
Yeah.
facilities and stuff like that. But individually wrapped bottles, yeah. No.
This is
No.
here's a since we're going way off topic with this one.
Of course, let's talk about wrestling.
No,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, right. No, but what the? I wonder how buoyant baby oil is, because if you have that much baby oil, you could fill like a bathtub or something, or like a small pool with baby oil. What the fuck would it be like to try and wade through that or swim in it?
Okay, so I have an answer for you as the resident chemist. So because baby oil is like a lot heavier than water, right? It would basically be like doing a marathon while you're swimming in it. Not to mention the fact that because depending on the specific gravity of the substance, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I can probably look it up. Let me
Tell
see
you.
here. Hold on. What is the specific gravity of baby oil?
Okay, you would need exactly, and I typed this in for me, as a 160-pound adult, how much baby oil I need to fit inside of a container to float on the surface of it, or for my weight. And so it's the volume of oil displaced equals weight divided by the density of the oil.
That is correct. Yeah,
It is
that
correct. You would
Yep.
need exactly 87.4 liters of baby oil to fill a container in order for me as a 160-pound adult to float on the surface.
Right. Yep, and that's to maintain neutral buoyancy, I'm assuming.
Yes.
That's not floating on top of the water, because the way that buoyancy works, oddly enough, like Hunter had said, depending on how much water or whatever substrate substance that you're in, the weight of that displaced substance provides or how much volume that displaced substance would have taken. That is how much buoyant force that it produces.
Glenn Nye, the big science guy.
Yes, it is.
Some nerd shit. Right there.
That was
Oil
like that was
is
hardcore nerd shit.
0.83 grams per cubic
Millimeter.
meter.
3 grams.
Yep.
Okay, what is the average density of a human being? Because that would
Rico.
be the determining
Rico.
factor whether you'd sink to the bottom or you'd
Rico.
float.
Hey Rico, this is riveting content.
Yes, it is.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
No,
Continue
hey,
on
how
with
is
your
it?
lecture,
Here,
Professor.
No. Here's how it's relevant. Because if you remember the movie Old School,
Mm-hmm.
they approached them because they had an emergency because they couldn't get the jugs of what was it,
Oh
KY?
yeah, that's right.
So they were wondering about the tubes and stuff. See right there? Look, it comes full circle. It comes back. It's all about learning stuff.
Well,
You just never know if you're in that
do
situation.
tip to tip, depending on how it goes. Were you able to find that info?
Yeah, I did. So the estimated density of a 160-pound adult ranges from about 907 kilograms per meter cubed to 1,037 kilograms per meter cubed,
Okay,
depending on
and
the
then,
volume of the individual.
And taking that with baby oil, we can extrapolate that out, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause you
so
get
would a human being float in baby oil?
Yes.
well, according to the calculation, yes. If I have 87.5 liters of it, I can.
I think we
Is
need
what-
to do an experiment. Where's
I am down.
somebody know Diddy's supplier?
I think we need all
It
1,000
might be Sam's
bottles.
Club. It's not Costco. So.
Okay, guys,
Anyways, that's
pause.
enough.
Shut the fuck up with the nerd shit.
That's the
Rico,
whole
It's called the
tell us
Nerdverse
about your week.
Odyssey.
Thank you, Hunter.
It's the Nerdverse Odyssey.
I know, but if we
Just
get on
have
this,
one
we are
without the
literally
other.
gonna. This is gonna end up being like a 5-hour podcast. So, Rico, how was your week?
because we're talking about cool stuff.
yeah.
I'm dumb. I don't know how things go
Talk about
density.
oils and lubes and stuff. That's mechanical stuff.
Ooh,
Right there.
oils and lubes, you say? Carry on.
That's all we've talked about for the last 5 minutes. Why are you now excited about it?
Well, I had to hear Rico say oils and lubes.
It's that
It's like
accent. I get
it's
it.
like cakes and pies. Like cakes and pies.
Cakes and pies.
My
All
week.
right,
My
yeah.
week.
You're weak. I'm weak.
These weak arms are heavy.
So, yeah. So,
Mom spaghetti?
Yeah.
You guys are so easy to
No, I
distract.
had something
Please,
and I was
Rico,
like, no, I'm
proceed.
not gonna say it. If you say mom spaghetti, I'm like, hey, how is there spaghetti? But I was like, no.
Listen, we're probably the closest thing to squirrels that you'll ever see in a human being. So,
Damn. She can't season food or something?
huh?
She can't season food or something?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Moving on.
Don't run down this path, Rico. You don't want to go there.
Yeah. So then it unfortunately we weren't able to go to Comic-Con this weekend. Due to health issues and stuff like that. Not by myself, just Danielle, but she's doing fine. But she did still wanted to go with me on my journey. So basically I took the money I had to spend and I was like, let me go to my local comic book store. So I went to Painted Vision. So if you're in the DMV area, Painted Vision is a good comic book store.
Great
There's
comic
another
book
one
store.
they moved. Which is
What
funny
about the
'cause
one that
when we
was
went in
across
there,
the street? Is he still there?
he got bought. From what I heard, when they had free comic book day, another business bought them, and then they moved them. But I don't know where he moved to. I don't know where they moved the location at. So I got to do some.
I
but they- I
have
think they're
I have the book he wrote because he actually is a comic book writer, the owner. His
For
name
those
is
who are
know
not
that.
aware, Glenn is currently pouring juice into his mug from a jug labeled Diddy Juice.
only
And
for
That
he
was
did not
intended
get
to be
up.
an Easter egg. You blew it up.
He did not get up. He had that sitting next to him. He planned that.
yeah. It was either that or the breast milk from a Cambodian woman.
Okay, keep going, Rico.
Yeah.
Wait, for your coffee or to flavor the juice?
Nobody remember that from the Dave Chappelle? But anyways, so yeah, stop by real quick.
I do.
I was able to secure some pops. The coolest one I think I got is Miles Morales as the Prowler. So if you guys did watch Across the Universe, I was able to get that one. That was like the dopest one. I actually got some graphic novels on display. So found out that Nico earlier, Black Summer,
Mm-hmm.
From the back, I haven't read it yet, but from the back of it, it sounds like if you took the 7 and let's say Homelander was correct.
I
or
would put it
killed
more
the-
of like if the boys was the Justice League as like primal humans with superpowers. This would be more like,
who's
what if
saying
the
Homelander
Justice League
wasn't
were
right?
evil?
Yeah, that's where I'm losing track of this conversation.
What?
Because the back of it,
Homelander
the back of it says that I forgot who the guy's name, but there's a superhero who he's been following the rule of his law as far as his personal law, and nobody's above that rule. And the circumstance is, what if you found out that the president, you have to kill the president,
Mm-hmm.
and after you kill the president, it sets things in motions where basically, after you kind of crippled and drove your team to craziness, that the military and the government are now trying to kill all superhumans that are out there. That's the gist of what the summary was on that one.
It's
So,
really good.
So I'm still confused. How is Homelander in the wrong?
No, wait, what?
Well, because the Homelander kills the president.
He's
in his
asking a
own-
proper question here.
his
I
own mind of
understand
trying
your
to take
confusion.
power.
Oh, I see where. Okay.
Yeah, you said this book is what if Homelander was in the right, and I've failed to see where we've diverted from Homelander not being the patriot to save America in Votland.
Hunter, where were you on January 6th?
Didn't you know he was the one wearing the bull costume?
I knew those nipples looked familiar.
It was a buffalo costume. Thank you.
Damn, they get me every time.
But I picked up
Yeah,
that one and
that's
picked-
fresh coming from the naked mailman.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh. So I picked up Happy. I don't know. Did anybody read Happy or see the TV show? Happy?
I
Yeah,
watched
the guy from-
I watched both seasons of the TV show, and I think I read a couple issues of the comic. Yeah, I really liked it. I actually want to say I have.
Actually, I'm familiar with that. What's the plot for that?
The gist is big. The gist is that as a cop, he's kind of down and not necessarily dirty, but he's not the a perfect cop. Whatever, everybody hates him. Whatever, but he comes into a circumstance where I think the show kind of follows the book where he has to. I think he sees an imaginary horse named Happy, and same thing, some circumstances, and he has to go protect somebody. So basically, he's trying to fight corruption, but not really to. I don't know if it's not really to clear his name or whatever, but anybody can correct me. But that's the gist I got from a preview of the show and the book.
So it's the Elijah Wood TV show, but with a horse as his imaginary friend.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I guess
it's
the
more
new
like
dog.
it's the Eliza. It's that one, but but instead of him being, because what was he, like IT or something? He's a detective who's a alcoholic.
Yeah. So if you watched Stabler from Law and Order Special Victims Unit, he plays the detective.
And he does a great
Oh.
job as him too.
Yeah. When they let him go, when they let him act loose, he's I really like.
And who's the? Was it Patton Oswalt plays the unicorn, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Rico, who is the top right corner with the funky glasses and the bucket hat?
Looks like Deadpool.
That is towards Deadpool.
I was gonna say
you
Disco Deadpool, but Tourist Deadpool makes sense.
So you got Deadpool, Bowling Deadpool. So I don't know if that's the thing for like Kingpin or possibly the Big Lebowski, Kidpool, Deadpool, Miles Morales, Jedi Knight, Revan, T'Challa from Black Panther. So I've been missing him. Spider-Punk, the Hulk from Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther, Aoki. She's the main protector of the Black Panther.
Speaking of the Acolyte, Disney released tax information that people were able to use to extrapolate. The amount of money they spent per episode on that show was actually the estimate was less than what truly happened. They spent nearly $29 million per episode on that show. I knew it was in the low 20s. I did not know it was that high.
Well, in all fairness, it was supposed to be a movie. Which
It was supposed to be a movie.
wasn't it supposed to be like True Detective in space, pretty much?
No,
Hell,
she
they might
said
have
it was
actually
supposed to
lost
be-
less money if it was a movie. Shit.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be their version of. Glenn, help me out because you always say it correctly. The one
Rashomon?
samurai movie. The one samurai,
Yeah,
old
Rashomon.
samurai movie. Yeah, where's the 3 perspectives?
Rashomon, yeah.
That's where.
Actually, watched that
Leslie
this week.
Headland.
Oddly enough, it's funny you mention it.
That's what she keeps on
Love
referring
me
to.
some
That
Kurosawa.
was supposed to be that one.
I know what I'm thinking of. No, so what's supposed to be like True Detectives in Space? That's Lanterns. The new Green Lantern one.
Okay.
That will be dope.
Which, by the way, they found they got their Hal Jordan.
Did
Well,
they
they're talking.
finally?
They're talking. They didn't confirm it yet.
Oh, they haven't confirmed it yet. They're in
You're talking
talks
about the guy
with
from,
the guy from Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the dad.
Or
Kind
have
of
you
squinty
seen,
face. He was in Bloodlines.
Super 8. Have you ever watched
Yeah, he was
Super
in
8?
Super 8.
He was the dad.
He's got a weird name too. Like it's a common name, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah. He played in a football movie too.
Yes.
Ed.
No, it's not Ted.
All right.
Oh,
you
It
guys
was
look
like,
it
what's
up.
a common name?
Yeah, something Chandler.
Yeah,
Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, he was the coach in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, so Kyle Chandler's in talks to play Hal Jordan. I
That
think
is a solid pick.
Oh,
the other one
Who's,
was
is this going to be
Josh
Brolin
Brolin.
Sinestro in this one?
Huh?
No, they haven't talked about it yet.
yeah, they haven't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Sinestro's going to be in it. That's just my
Okay.
guess.
And even with that casting, they don't know if it's going to be like Hal Jordan around the time where Paradox shows
Well,
up.
no. So it sounds like it's supposed to be Hal Jordan and what's the other
Yeah.
one's name?
John Stewart. It's supposed
John
to be, I think
Stewart.
He's supposed to be mentoring.
Yeah, it's
mentoring
John Stewart and Hal Jordan are the main characters.
Yeah.
Okay,
glad they're
so
not
this
gonna
is
do
after, yeah. So,
Well, it might not be because it's going to be part of the new DC like cinematic universe. So it might be something that it's something James Gunn's cooking up.
Yeah.
But Kyle is the only character in comic books with more PTSD than Spider-Man. So like they need to build up to his character.
Oh,
and
dude,
storyline.
Kyle would be pretty cool. Who was it? Guy Gardner is the one that
Gardner.
turns to a Red Lantern. He's
Yeah.
a pretty cool one too.
Always angry.
Yep.
Yeah, he's always fun.
He's like the Vegeta of the Green Lanterns.
Red Lanterns crack me up. It's just like whenever they like get turned into Red Lanterns, it's just like, oh, you know, like
Well, yeah, it's
blood everywhere.
it's just Korn wanting blood for the blood god, man.
it's just like it's not blood though.
Listen,
It's like,
I was a '90s edge
it's-
lord. I loves me the Red Lanterns.
it's basically like, you know, their superpower is bulimia. Like
Bulimia.
It's just like, I'm angry and I throw up.
I personally prefer the Sinestro Corps because they had Scarecrow at one point, and that is just a match made in
Oh
heaven.
God,
And
yes.
Batman at one point, because Batman was a Yellow Lantern.
I thought he
Yes,
was a
he
White
was.
Lantern.
He was, well, he's been both, but
He's
he was
adopted
first a
couple.
Yellow Lantern.
So he's been. I
He's
thought there was
probably
one
been
version
the
where
whole
he had
rainbow at this
4
point.
Green Lantern rings too. Was it him? Somebody had him. But speaking
Have
of
they
which-
ever said what happened? Wait, hold on. Now we're getting into nerd
Right.
shit, and I don't understand Green Lantern. If you have multiple rings, what happens?
So, Hal Jordan did take on multiple rings during the Parallax arc, and it made him stronger. He basically got the power of each ring that he had.
It's
But would it also
because
bring the
usually
side effects? Because remember what is it, the Sinestro Corps? They tend to become like egotistical, like megalomaniacs. The
No,
Red
no,
Lanterns
no,
are
no,
just
no.
like berserkers.
it's they acquire the ring because they themselves have those personality traits that would make them worthy to wear the ring. And to answer your question about multiple rings, essentially each ring is like a battery that holds on to the power that they of their color. And so essentially if you have more if you have multiple rings, then you basically have several rings worth of power, and thus you were able to expend more power on your projections without basically completely like obliterating the rings, like by powering out.
Oh, that's not as cool as I thought it would be.
Well, they have the White Lantern ring too, but I don't know if that's for I know that was a result of what it was, the Darkest Night afterwards.
Mm.
It was in
I think at one
it
point
was
she missed
after
her.
Yeah,
Darkest
because
Night.
it was in Brightest Day and
Day.
Darkest Night.
And there's
Yeah.
now in Ultraviolet Lantern Corps as well, which that's the Lantern Corps of Unrequited Love, right? Or
No,
something
that's
of that nature.
No, I
so
think you're talking about
you're
Sapphire.
talking about the
Sapphire one.
was it rose lanterns? No, but there's pink. Pink is a color
Yeah.
in the spectrum, and
this
Because
is-
it's Hal
that's
Jordan.
love.
It's in the Darkest Night. Well, in the war thing, I know is Hal Jordan's ex-lover. I thought it was the sapphire rings because the blue ones is for hope, orange is for greed.
Greed.
On that one.
Mine.
Yeah, where there's
That's
only one
the,
guy, there's
that's
only
the
one
creed.
lantern, and he takes everybody. He's like the coolest on that one. But
Yeah.
actually, I got a couple of the graphic novels somewhere. But speaking of graphic novels, Revenge. I read this one.
Yeah, classic.
You guys haven't read this one?
Pure classic.
It's $15, but it's like if you ever saw the movie Crank, similar in that one where a guy.
It's Crank with
basically-
Peter Dinklage in it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up because I was like, that dude looks like Peter Dinklage. For some reason, he reminded me of. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that would translate. That would be such a kick-ass movie. Of live
Yeah,
action cut
sounds
of that.
Yeah, it'll never happen.
Okay, so to go back to this, because we never actually follow up on things that we say we're going to follow up on.
Oh.
There is in fact an ultraviolet core, so I was not incorrect. The ring taps into primitive impulses of sentient beings to strengthen the ring of the user and their constructs, and it is partially fueled by negative emotions for the induction process. The wearer wields a UV power ring, and it draws off of raw, cruel, destructive, and deadly parts of their emotions. So what I was thinking of, the guy who had started this Lantern Corps, he was upset and in distress because of an unrequited love that he had, and that's how he gained this power, and that's how he went off the deep end.
Basically, it's people on the spectrum. So I guess.
Hell, yeah, I'm sure at least 3 of us are.
But I still love you
It's
guys. It's okay.
So Revenge, yes. Let me hurry with
Like
my
community
week.
service for me.
But essentially, the summary version is a guy who's not really down. He's used to be a Hollywood star. He's kind of hit rock bottom doing B movies. His girlfriend, or his wife, I mean, convinces him to go to Mexico and get basically a face rejuvenation thing. And unbeknownst to him, it was a plot to basically do their version of Face Off, where his face is switched off with her boyfriend, who he didn't know, and basically he's given drugs to stay alive but feel all the pain. He can't move, and then basically she creates a plot to basically use her boyfriend who has the guy's face to get all his money, as far as his money, his property, and everything. And so basically it's like his decisions he made in the past comes back to kind of bite him in the ass. And so now when he wakes up, he's in a race against time with this one little small person that look like Peter Dinklage to basically get his revenge against the lady and try to save some money for one of his kids that is the only one that kind of had a relationship with him to save her little veterinarian center and stuff like that. So
For a second there, I thought that the guy was going to be the little person, and I was like, did they really put his face on a little guy, or he was a little guy, and they took his damn face, and then like this big dude just shows up, and he's like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, who are you? I grew, like that's one of those things. That's
No,
why
I mean,
I was slightly confused there. I was like, did they just get another little person, or?
No,
But, okay, that makes a lot of sense that he's his.
basically he was the Igor in a sense.
Psychic.
Of,
I see.
Because when he goes down to Mexico, he meets this German guy. The scene that they paint kind of reminds me. Have you ever heard the stories of the BBL operations? I don't know if you guys. So there's women that will go
I
to.
do
that
not know
song?
what BBL means.
How did all of them shake their head?
Is this a meme that I'm too white to understand?
No.
Brazilian butt lift?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's women that will go. These are horror stories. There's women that will go to the Dominican Republic and not do their research, and they will get the Brazilian butt lifts. And come to find out, the people they go to don't have no license. One lady, I think, had some type of concrete mix put into her butt. Like, it's really bad horror stories. People who almost lost their life, or some who actually died. And so that was the one thing that struck me in the book is there's a scene where they're doing the surgeries.
So
doesn't look like it's nice.
She told the doctor, she was like, "Hey, I want a dump truck," and he's like, "All right, fam, I got you."
Oh my God.
I
Yeah,
also
essentially
shared the
that.
song in the general chat for you. I can't believe none of you have heard that song before.
No, I have.
Okay, good. At least one of you's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like if you took Crank, matter of fact, if you took the movie Wild Things, I don't know if you guys remember that movie with Nev Campbell,
Yeah.
Denise Richards. Like, you don't know who to trust and who to follow. It's so many like double crosses or whatever. It's like that. And it's just a guy racing against time to salvage whatever he has left, so at least he can give something to his daughter before he dies. And basically, he's like, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna take my revenge on everybody who gets in my way. On that one, and of course they do something, and it kind of remind me of John Wick, where it's like, oh, you killed my dog. Anybody who kills a dog deserves to die, or whatever. But we'll move on real quick. The Penguin. Have you guys seen that one? I saw this one this weekend. Episode 1 is out.
Okay.
If not, you're welcome to spoil it if you want to, though. I am very excited to see it, and I'll watch it regardless.
Quick summary of it is shortly after the events of Batman, Gotham is crawling to recover from the Riddler's riddle. Crime is taking over as the low-income neighbors were hit the hardest. Penguin is reluctant, contemplating his next moves as a recent power grab brings him closer to his dream, while a familiar nightmare reveals itself. So,
what you said after the events of Batman? Which Batman?
Matt Reeves. Batman.
Yeah. This is taking place after that one.
Vampire Batman.
So the way the scenario is set up, kind of bringing back a reality. It's like the after effects of Hurricane Katrina, where the low income areas were destroyed in New Orleans. So same thing concept of Gotham, where they're trying to still fix up. I think it's like a week later. They're trying to fix everything that the Riddler has done. Crime is just on a rampant. And since Falcone was killed at the end, there's a power grab for it. So basically, Penguin makes a move. He's still trying to figure out what's going on. And after he makes his move, something from his past comes up. I can't remember her name, but if you ever watched the show, I think it's How I Met Your Mother. The mother at season 8, I believe that's her. She just looks, because she has makeup on, so she looks a little bit darker. The way the lighting, everything, she looks like she's a little bit older than what she looked like in How I Met Your Mother. But she's supposedly some badass lady because she's come thing of what moves he's gonna make. So I really think it's really good. The first episode is really good. It's like,
don't worry, they'll kill her off within 2 episodes, and the Penguin will get with Kobe Smulders, and all will be normal again with the world. I'm not salty about that series finale at all, if you can't tell. It's been a decade now at this point.
Wait, now I'm lost. What are you talking about?
How I Met Your Mother. Did you never finish How I Met Your Mother?
I don't think I did.
Let me regale you with this bullshit of a tale, okay?
God.
The entire series is Ted talking to his children on a couch about how he fucked half the women in New York. For one, let's put that great parenting method on the table.
as a college professor, because I mean,
technically,
it's not exactly the highest caliber man that many women glaze over.
Right. But then throughout the entire fucking series, he meets Robin in the first episode, obviously, right? And he goes through all the tiffs with her and everyone else. And then you finally get to the end of the series when they introduce his wife. And you're like, holy shit, I have waited 8 fucking years for this moment. This is so cool. How are they going to end this series? And then you're like, wait, something's about to happen. This doesn't feel right. And sure enough, she dies of cancer when the kids are young. And so the entire series is about how Ted met their mother, not how he lived happily ever after with his mother, because then the kids realize throughout this whole story that Ted is telling them about all the women that he banged in his lifetime, including their mother, and that really what it all comes down to is he's still in love with Robin. So they give him permission that he can go get Robin because she's the love of his life, not their fucking mother that pushed them out of her womb and then died a few years later that this entire story was built around.
And what about poor NPH who gets left in the dust?
Correct.
Wait,
she marries Robin marries Barney, and
I know that. I knew that.
They get divorced because they're ultimately unhappy after about like 3 to 5 years or whatever it is. And then Neil Patrick Harris realizes that he actually had a kid with another woman, and then he becomes an awesome dad. So like his story actually ended better than Ted's.
Yeah.
Marshall and Lily also had an amazing ending. Ted is a shitbag.
You know what's
it's kinda
funny?
Actually, the
I
main
actually
reason
blocked
why
that
I-
damn episode
oh,
out
go
because
ahead.
every time you said that, I remember. It's like, oh yeah, and that makes sense. I have seen the entire series and I blocked it out of my memory.
memory hold. But no, actually, whenever I was a young man in college, oddly enough, the main reason why my now wife talked to me is because of the fact that she said, and I quote, "I danced like Marshall." And she wanted like her and her friend Carol, like, Carol, Crystal, you know what you need? You need a Marshall. And well, there I was
And she
in
listened.
With those glorious
Yeah.
calves.
and so and that's how dancing my dancing, which I'm classically trained, by the way, tap dancing, tap,
Yeah,
jazz, and swing when I was a kid. But apparently, I danced like Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
So Rico, I apologize. Apparently, we found the topic in which you can get me to rant on immediately. You may have triggered me a little bit there.
I swear Hunter did the whole, you know what grinds my gears? Don't get me started. Out of
Yep.
nowhere, I'm going to get started. Which I agree. Like, she was there for a fleeting moment, and then it was like, she was gone. And it's like, okay, really? I agree with Hunter. It's just Robin. You wanted Robin to be the mother who didn't want to have kids, who ended up wanting to have kids. And then now she could be a kid. She could be a mother to his kids. So,
And then the kid's telling him, "Go bang Robin."
yeah.
Jesus.
Make sure you bring that blue. Make sure you bring that blue horn, the blue French horn. Speaking of swinging and dancing, Agatha All Along. I watched it. There's 3 episodes on Disney.
How is it? I heard mid as fuck, so I'm hoping for anything better because it has
I
Aubrey
will
Plaza
say-
in it.
So
I mean, it's a spinoff series. I mean, so my
yeah,
bar is
Let me
set
be
kind of low
honest.
already.
I would say this. Well, the quick synopsis of it is that Agatha finds herself released from Wanda's spell, butt naked. She gets butt naked for the series.
Nice.
All
Her
right.
butt. 3 years from their battle, whatever. After her friendly neighborhood
Does she
reveals
have
what's
that
going
BBL?
on. No. It's your basic white butt.
I have
No-
seen many,
no squats,
many
no leg
fine-looking
lift,
white butts
whatever.
before. Thank you.
including your mama's.
I mean, my mom's not technically white, but
You get back on the witch's road. That's the good part right there, because they have to basically find the witch's road to get her powers back, but she has to recruit a coven of witches, from at least 3 different types of witches, whatever. Along with this one teen boy that they don't know who he is, because every time he says anything, some of the information is blocked out, like it's written out. Like there's a they call that a sigil's on her. So how it starts out, at least, is she starts off as being a detective. So they kind of give a nod to some type of detective show with, who's that lady from Titanic? Anybody? The one that said, "Draw me like a French girl."
Celine Dion.
No. Yes, Hunter, you doing it, but I don't know the name. Wasn't it Kate Winslet?
Yep.
So I think she had a detective show. So that's how Agatha starts out. Like, she's
Speaking of great-looking white butts.
I'll take your word on that one. So
Have you never seen the Titanic?
It's
Who, me?
it's she's butt naked during the
saw it.
show.
I saw it twice. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm sorry. Hey,
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
Now you're just being offensive.
That's racist, man. But nah, I wish they would have stuck
It's
with
nationalistic,
the detective.
technically, but okay.
Okay. I wish they stuck with the detective thing, because they only shoot what she perceives as being a detective for a couple of scenes, and then it goes right into her getting her memory back, no powers, and then her trying to recruit all these people here. Audrey, I would say the 2 good things about it: Audrey Plaza. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. She is Parks and Rec. She played Parks and Rec, a bunch of other things. She's in it. Don't know too much about her role, but other than she has a past with Agatha and she's trying to kill her. And then I don't know her name, but she played Kitty off the '70s show. She's in it, and that's what brings a little bit more. It gives the show a little bit more weight.
She was also in WandaVision as one of the people that was trapped.
Yeah, she was one of the first person that you saw that really gave you an indication that something bad was happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you said Aubrey Plaza, I'm like, do you guys know Aubrey Plaza? Yes, I know Aubrey Plaza. She's like everything that any man wants in a woman. If I was single and not married to my beautiful wife, I'm sure I would stalk her.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Which is absolutely hilarious because her characters are always dark and quiet and just aggressive and mean, but yet you will never find a person who's not like, but Aubrey Plaza.
Dude,
like,
she's
hilarious.
In our
primitive caveman brains that she's got it.
Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, like if speaking of caveman brain, it's like one of those things where, like, if I needed someone to stoke a bonfire and defend from wild predators, she could probably do it. I'm just saying. Yeah. And she doesn't have crazy eyes. That's great, and she's just hilarious and hot. But but crazy eyes. Plaza, if you're out there, I love you.
We call that toxic. That's toxic.
No, it's toxic. It's called confidence, my friend. Confidence.
But yeah, give it a shot. Give it a look. Again, take your opinion, whoever's listening, and for you guys. Again, I think episode 3 was better than the first 2 episodes because now they got into some of the nitty gritty and some of the stuff they are. Because again, with the character Agatha, you can't trust her, so you see how everybody has a history with her, where she's gonna double cross and do all types of stuff, even though basically use people for her gain. Since again, after the events of Multitude of Madness, it kind of sets stuff in motion with what's going on in Agatha's all along on that one. And they do name drop a big person. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so I mean, like that, the 3rd episode makes about the right sense for them to. Episode 1 is going to be reminding everybody of the metaphysics of the universe. Mm-hmm. The 2nd episode is going to be catching everybody up via like flashbacks and stuff like that, or vice versa, one of the two. And then 3rd episode, you finally get to the meat of the plot. How many episodes do they have planned for this?
I believe 8, and unfortunately, the runtimes for the episode, that's another complaint I have. They're like 35 to 44 minutes, so not even a full hour. Like,
so this was going to be a movie. No, I guarantee you they were going to make it a movie.
Because they'll get to
all of their Marvel shows fit this same time box.
Like the half-hour slot?
They're all about 8 episodes, and they're between 35 and 40 some minutes.
Huh.
I think some of the finales are a little bit longer, but they've got the formula down at this point.
Okay.
Like again, with episode 1, they started off pretty cool. She doesn't know who she is. She's playing a detective. She's told to come to a creek to identify a body. All signs that they give is that it's Wanda's body. Even though you don't see her face. You see some hair, whatever. But again, it's going back and forth from reality because she's still underneath Wanda's spell about her, whatever like that. And that's why I wish they would continue with that as episodes comes about. Little things. I don't care if it's like a highlighted color or something, kind of like the Sixth Sense where something was red or whatever. Because there is one character that says that, I've been trying to break you out, but it doesn't make sense because he just shows up once, says something, and then that supposedly sets her free from this reality. And then it's her and Audrey going like, basically you don't know if that's actually Audrey Plaza or that's her hallucinating her until she comes back to reality, and then Audrey's trying to kill her. Because again, they have some type of past history with all the witches and stuff like that. So,
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, dude, I hallucinate Aubrey Plaza all the time.
You like her? Hey, you'll like her because she's dressed in all black. At one point, has like the makeup on, and she has like a freaking big ass dagger, and she flies in the air, and she looks blood.
Nice.
She cuts Agatha, and then Agatha had no power. She's like, "Well, I'll see you later," and she was like, and then just.
Yeah, but was it like or was it like a, like?
Yeah, it's like sexy, like yeah, like
Oh, yay.
that's
Okay, I'm
broke,
going to
but
watch
I'm not
this
gonna
tonight.
complain, kind of thing.
Why didn't he spend 5 minutes talking about displacing mass on top of a body of baby oil, and somehow this is the weirder conversation of the two?
Pretty much the last two things I got from my week.
I don't know.
I'll try to make it quick. I dig into more than I was digging into the weeds of Nintendo as far as the whole suing and updating. Just some takeaways. They still haven't released the facts. When everybody's gathering, it's basically Nintendo versus the whole entertainment system. Because I remember we mentioned that there was a mobile game they sued.
Yep.
And gave the impression that they won. They won by settlement. They didn't win it by court on that one.
Well, it's because they patented the painted balls. That's
No. That's the Pal World one. This is the Chinese phone game where
this one was called the
Stolen Assets.
Colopol mobile game that was released in basically it was in 2017. 2 weeks later, they were sued by Disney. They gave everything, and then in 2021, so 2017 to 2021, they've been battling in court. That's when they settled out of court with the company paying a license fees and other damages to Nintendo for them to run the game. So this wasn't the Chinese game. This was a different game.
Oh, okay.
That they said they stole our patents on everything. Because right now Nintendo they have more patents, but the ones they said are supposedly that Power had probably infringed on was this is stupid, a confirmation screen after sleep mode. And all that is like, hey, it's like that Netflix, hey, are you still watching Netflix? They patent that.
Then there's petty reasons they're doing this because there's multiple games that do that exact same thing.
Yeah. So
Wait,
I mean,
it's petty that somebody created a monster capturing game that
That
functions very
outsold
much
your
like
main
Pokemon
one.
with guns, and it's outsold your entire franchise hand over fist for the last year and a half.
Yeah,
I don't
it's pretty
think I'm gonna
petty.
be petty about that.
they had a patent. This other patent they had was when a character is hidden behind a tree, the game forms a shadow. That's a patent on that mechanism.
They've patented a shadow in a video game.
They have patented a shadow effect, apparently. Like, the whole gimmick behind Manhunt on the PlayStation 2? Nintendo owns that.
Apparently.
Yeah, so the funny thing about all this, and there's more patents that were out that I found out, but I mean, to Hunter's point, well, I forget who said it, but basically, yeah, they're going to stifle some of this for competition because, again, with the joint venture with Sony Music Group, Sony's trying to basically expand the IP. So you talk about anime, cards, other games, basically merchandise, like Mel Brooks in baseball. It's what he loves. That's what they were doing. But to some people's point on how these mechanics get stupid, like BioWare, they have a patent on their dialogue wheel. So the wheel you bring up, that's a patent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bandai Namco, they had a mini game. Namco.
Oh yeah, the mini game during the loading screen. I knew about that one.
That was a patent for Ridge Racer and Tekken 5.
Yep.
It expired in 2015, but now nobody does that anymore because the loading times and everything is way faster
Too fast.
than it was
Yep.
before.
Except for Google, with the dinosaur jump thing.
Sega. I don't know if you guys remember this game called Crazy Taxi.
I do.
Absolutely.
Remember that big arrow?
Yes.
That's a patent.
They also used it in Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft
GTA
Auto,
2,
Driver,
GTA 3?
dude, fucking most racing games back in the day had those arrows.
Not to mention the fact that WoW, there's some WoW mods that do that.
So, apparently Sega, they did the patent and they sued Fox for the Simpsons driving game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yep, Simpsons Hit and Run.
So they sued them. So I don't know if they got a license fee or they changed that, which will bring my point to you guys on that one. Katamar, the one game where you're rolling around.
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, where you're rolling around, get all the items and stuff get big. That's a patent.
That makes sense. No, I can't think of any games that actually have done something like that aside from
IO games, really, are the only ones
that's
that
it.
have done it.
But no, like major
Either that
studio
or
games.
maybe like something about snow or something like that.
Actually, no.
Like
The
that
closest thing would
only.
be Tears of the Kingdom. The hand you can like glue things together. So you
Gotcha.
could
Yeah, but
technically
you're
make
not
a
rolling it up.
fair,
What
but it
about-
has it's a similar mechanic.
Whose
Well,
cat
maybe-
just got murdered in the background?
Oh, that's Jonesy.
That's Jonesy.
Well, it brings me to my question
sad
to
cat.
you guys is that so one video I saw again they brought up the Nemesis system that was patented in 2010.
Yeah, for Shadows of Mordor, right?
Yeah, Shadows of
Yep.
Mordor. So it was basically a enemy progression. Basically, if you beat an enemy or the enemy beats you,
They would
Yeah, I
get
guess if you
stronger or
don't- if you don't
weaker
kill 'em.
depending.
yeah, and then that what I didn't know was that enemy will also fight other enemies.
Yes.
and that's how they'll get bigger, whatever. Now, unfortunately, the patent is expired in 2035.
Mhm.
So right now, nobody's going to do it, and WB has no plans of
Ever bringing it
possibly
back.
licensing it, whatever. But my thing with some of these patents, I guess for me, and the reality is that how can you patent? How do you patent something like that? Where in the real world, if you apply those same dynamics, if you're in the mafia, whatever, somebody goes down, somebody gets killed off, you're grabbing power. Your name has everything to it. It has power to it.
Mhm.
Whereas like, hey, don't mess with this guy, or nah, don't come over here with that crap. You got beat by this guy. So I don't get how somebody can't create something like that and not use it in their game.
Yeah, I get what you
So is
mean.
it more or less of the code or something, or they have to do something? Because it seems like you're just patenting real life
Yeah,
events. Or,
and that's kind of how it is. And a lot of the companies don't ever really do anything on it, or probably just collect like some form of like small royalty. But this situation, I think, is a little more. I don't know, like the whole Power World thing. Like I said, it's just petty. Especially if it's not over the Pokeball thing; it's over the fucking continue screen.
yeah. But even with the Pokeball and Power Worlds, it's a difference between how they look and how they opened up.
Yeah,
So
and that's the
well-
thing. It is. I think it'd be very hard to confuse Power World for Pokemon. In all honesty.
Well, Pokemon, they don't shoot rocket launchers.
That's
So-
one thing. And I'd never seen a Pikachu wield two M16s.
Not in stock standard vanilla Pokemon games, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, but even at that point, I mean, like, you know, if you want to talk about something that evolves and changes and shoots guns, where's Transformers at
Yeah.
with regards to that?
Oh, and Digimon. Digimon did that
But those
too.
are robots. That doesn't count.
Okay, fine.
And
Digimon.
Digimon also does not count because they are part of the digital world.
Oh god.
It is true.
That's
Different.
plot, not
Technology.
function or mechanic.
I mean, if you get a decent lawyer, he can argue that one pretty well. I mean, if I feel like I could make an argument for it, I feel like somebody who actually does this for a living could probably figure it out.
Did your brain
the
stop
last thing-
working? Are you unsure of something but want to sue somebody? Call Hunter for the low price of $5.99 an hour. He'll sue the shit out of anybody for you.
I'm at least charging minimum wage, all right? Not much more than that, but at least minimum wage. And my
$7.45.
argument- Currently, yes. And my argument will mostly be derived from ChatGPT, but it will be effective.
And this is how we start Hunter's supervillain arc.
yeah.
Supervillain arc already started whenever you shut down Granny Footfinder. I'm just saying.
My last thing, since you said you mentioned grandmas, there's a lady that's called the Skyrim.
Oh,
grandma.
Skyrim Grandma.
She's retiring.
She's
Yep.
great.
Oh,
from
thank
the
God.
YouTube thing.
She's
I thought
done
you
with
were
it. She
about
said
to
it's
tell
not
she
fun
died.
anymore.
No.
I'm just used to Rico telling us about dead people.
No, that's
Foolish
fair.
rode her
No.
her last dog.
No,
I
she
seen
got
Hunter get
bored with the
so
game.
emotional right then. Hunter, I'm sorry, man. That dude just turned around. He's like, "Oh God, no!"
You can't do that to me.
Lord.
Next you're gonna tell me that the COD grandpa also died and just ruin my
No,
whole
I'll
life.
be.
No,
Dude,
dude,
cool,
COD Grandpa's like 60 something. He's fine. He's gonna be around for a long time playing Call of Duty.
I hope.
good.
And
But yeah,
freaking
she's
sniping noobs.
Dude, he's a fucking killer. I'm not gonna lie.
But she's retiring after 9 years of contact. She just says she doesn't have the heart for it anymore, but she'll do some post some vlogs sometime and do reading videos of the books in Skyrim and our own stories. And as far as gaming, this is my last thing. Space Marines 2.
Yeah.
I actually love it. I've been ignoring Destiny right now, even though Destiny got a lot of changes. But something about jumping into a mob of xenomorphs or Tyranids, you like to call them. Right?
Yep.
And battling a lot, it's good. The only thing I hate, and it's not a gripe, is I try to be the heavy in the objectives. Because you have the campaign, you have objectives or missions, whatever. And I thought it'd be cool if I was a heavy guy, where I got like a freaking Gatling gun. Man, I got my ass kicked in the generator part. Because I'm playing on veteran status, and I'm like, the two people, I don't know if they're randoms or they're actual AI, but I keep getting killed, and I'm like, dude, I'm late. Like, they just forget everybody else, and they just come here. I'm like, ah, like it's crazy. But
Being
Space
a
Marine.
heavy guy, I would have thought you would have done better.
Nah, because all they give you is I get a Gatling gun. A Gatling gun. What else I get? I get a pistol I can choose, and then I get like a little force field when goes with me when I move. But those Tyranids don't like they say fuck your force field, and then they just step on me. Like it gets crazy. Like it was like all a bunch of blade dudes.
Yo, couch.
And you got this one serpent thing that it dives in the ground, and then you be fighting people, and it'll just jump up. Next, you know, it's in your face, and you got
the Reavers.
Those dudes, I hate those dudes. And because then when you start shooting them, they go right back into the ground.
Yep.
And then you're running, and then you see something like red, and all of a sudden, boom! It's like, oh crap, I gotta move, or whatever. But yeah, the flamethrower that they give you, like a shotgun flamethrower, is the best weapon.
Oh, the Melta.
Yeah, that one's my favorite one. And speaking of shotguns, I'll hand it off to we go eeny meeny miny mo, catch a tiger by its toe, which is toe means penis. Glenn, I'll give it to you.
Fair enough.
Why are you catching Glenn by his penis?
Well, I mean, it's an easy grasp.
I'll go get some water real quick.
Yeah, this week has been rather tame for me, mainly because I've been doing a lot of submissions for Casting Call Club, which is a website where people post their projects and they say, hey, we need writers, we need voice actors, we need musicians, stuff like that. And I've submitted them at least 29 submissions, and I've gotten 20 views on my profile and like some really good stuff that came back from some folks. So that's kind of cool. Talked with James about coming on to the show, and obviously he's not here, but he said that likely he wants to be here next week. So
Okay.
I'll talk with him and I'll let you guys know. Let's see. In terms of stuff I've been watching, I started Go Go Loser Ranger, and
Nice.
it's a great show.
It's so
great.
much fun.
Yeah, like there's like some plot elements that I'm kind of confused on, like why one of the monsters is already there and nobody like knows, even though she's like super creepy looking. She just kind of shows up in this room, is like monster, and then like the sister who's crippled knows that he's a monster but like doesn't do anything about it, and it's like cool. And then the one kid who like cuts off his hand, who's like no other reason other than the fact that monsters killed everyone and everyone that he loves, and so he's going to take sympathy on the monster. I don't know, it doesn't make sense, and maybe I'm just not like reading it properly, but it's fun. I like it. The animation is good, and the premise is relatable. Along with Ranger stuff, I also recently listened to Scyther Inc.'s latest release for the Power Rangers Zeo, and liked it so much that I was like, crap, I need to go back to the beginning, and so started listening to the series from the very beginning for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers audio drama from Scyther Inc. Highly suggest everybody who watches this show to go watch Scyther. Why are you saying go down? Am I speaking too loudly?
No, I'm talking to like Hunter. I'm just looking at his
refuse to go down
fucking
on
forehead.
But also, I'm eating food, and I feel like shoveling rice and chili in my mouth.
All right, Wilson, that makes sense.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but no, I highly suggest everyone who is a member of our show to watch it because sometime soon we might have some news for you that will delight and appeal to most of you, especially if you are in fact comic book fans.
No bias, of
Oh,
course, correct? None
Not at all.
whatsoever.
yeah, no, but I can't say anything yet because as of yet things are still on the DL, and so, but yeah, super exciting stuff.
Wait, I have questions. You said
Yo,
you watched episode 1 of Zeo, right?
yes, I did, but I was like, crap, I need to go back to the beginning and watch all of it because
Yeah,
that episode was so good.
yeah, and that's what I
And
was trying to
so,
figure out. Like, wait, how the hell did you know what was happening? There's no way you binged all 4 seasons in the last week.
no, not yet. Um, no, I mean, fun stuff. So
For the
what else? What else? For our dear friend Slimadime, he is going to be doing a 24-hour podcast that or 24-hour stream for his anniversary for his show. That's actually starting on Friday the 27th. For those of you who
So tomorrow.
who follow him.
Well, tomorrow
Yes,
our time. Tomorrow recording time.
Yes, tomorrow
same day for
recording
upload
time. Right, but on the 27th of September, it's going to be starting at midnight tomorrow, and then it's going to be going for 24 hours. So you guys might see me on there, um, as Slamadime has requested my presence to play a few games with him. So super exciting stuff.
Hey, when you
what
talk to
else?
him, tell him, hey, we're thinking about him.
Okay, I will.
Come
Because
back,
he-
Slime. We miss you so much. Please,
we'd like
The only
to-
thing I would say
please
with-
come
for
back.
Glenn, maybe you guys can talk about it in your session is the VTuber drama in regards to how there's been multiple VTubers being banned from Twitch, and then also, hey, why does everybody cheat as a VTuber in their marriage?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's there's I mean it's a social media thing, and so there's always going to be drama. You know, everybody's trying to get their slice of the pie, and so obviously there's also always drama, and there's people involved because people create drama. If only we could all be robots, right? Um,
Yes,
Nico's
I
like,
too
yeah,
would like
yeah.
to be not a robot. Human.
I'm a human man.
So so a couple of the projects on Casting Call Club that I signed up for to do casting for was a something called Scarlet Hollow visual novel, a comic book audio drama called Something in the Water for the same named comic Something in the Water. Let's see what else. The Breaking Point original series, Batman Dark Prince Charming, to which actually I found out, and whenever I did my casting for Batman, I actually kind of sound like the Batman dude from the animated series whenever I use my lower intonation, which I thought was kind of cool.
So
And
we got to
I-
hear it because that's a tall order, and there's a lot of people you'll piss off by saying that.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Batman.
My name Batman.
Right.
My name's
Um,
Batman.
I am the
Oddly enough,
Batman.
Batman is the name of my buddy James's dog. Oddly enough, but like the one that I had here, I'll just read you the sample lines. It was like, "There are always people you care about. You just don't realize how much until they're gone." And then he also said, "Damage report." And then, "Hi, Alina, with my butler. Yes, curious. I meant your doll." And so, anyways, don't worry about it on the spot. I'm not gonna probably swarm as well, but I mean, it may be close. I don't know. It is what it is. Hopefully, whatever it is, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's fine with me.
If we don't, we'll still let you know.
Of course. No, it is what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of projects on there. Some of them paying, some of them non-paying. And it's been a lot of fun doing that this week. I guess I've kind of caught the voice acting bug. And it seems to be.
I swear, man, bitches when they go to Hollywood. Am I right or am I right?
But yeah, fun stuff. I've been playing a lot of Pixelmon, Pokemon with my daughter. There was that. She basically every single day has just been like, Dad, can we play on the Pokemon server? Dad, can we play on the Pokemon server? Dad, start up the Pokemon server. And I'm like, I'm doing fucking dishes. But no, but no, I don't yell at my daughter like that. No, by all means. But no, it's.
I don't know. He sounded kind of defensive there.
No. Yeah, he's quick with he was quick with it.
with the dad backhand, like no. But other thing, the Pokemon trading card game on the
the phones
emulator.
Oh, never mind.
Well,
I thought you were going to talk about the new phone app.
I'm going to talk about that, but it's after I talk about this. But no, I've been playing the Game Boy Color version on the Nintendo Switch Online, and found out, oddly enough, that whenever it was on Virtual Console for the 3DS, it did not have any communication features on it. However, communication features on the Switch is emulated so that you can in fact do card pop with other people in the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color on the Switch, and actually get all the cards.
Oh wow.
Is a card pop similar to a desk pop?
Yeah, kind of, except with the card pop you can accidentally get a promotional Venusaur that you can only get via this method. Instead of a reprimand from your boss.
No, if you do a desk pop, you get a promotion to use a wooden gun.
Exactly. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Right. But yeah, as Nico had mentioned, there is going to be a new Pokemon trading card game app on the phone, much like Pokemon Go, where you will be able to play with others using the Pokemon trading card game, of which I really haven't played a lot of. Like, I played a lot of it on Game Boy Color.
Easy to make stupidly overpowered decks. I don't know how to make a good deck, and I was able to make some like garbage real quick.
Right.
Is there anything that sets it apart from Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters or like MTG Arena? Or is
it is, but easy to play.
So it's just a cash grab.
Right.
No, it's not a cash grab. Like, it's actually, there's some strategic depth to it, but to play the basic version of the game is nowhere near as complex as Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. Like, again, it's a game that you can teach a 4-year-old.
Right, because of the fact that there's essentially...
But it does have real good depth to it. Like, there's some cool shit you can do.
So, essentially, whenever you play a Pokemon trading card game, you're limited to typically 1 to 6 different targets for any effect that you can create, with the main Pokemon in the arena and then Pokemon that are on the bench, right? And so, which is kind of funny that, like, in the main Pokemon games, there's no tag feature that's similar to that, because they're not all out at the start. Because they can take damage too. Like, there are some like effects that can damage. You can take damage. You can poison them. There's other effects that you can create with the Pokemon trading card game. But in the main Pokemon game, like, there's nothing that says Pikachu, like electrically butt fucks the Pokemons while they're still inside the balls on the guy's belt, and so
that went places that I didn't expect.
No, I'm just trying to come up with phrases, for the new title for the show.
No, please stop, because that is a no-go.
I mean, okay, so ironically enough, I did electrocute my friend with an oil check tonight, and I'm shocked that there was something relevant enough for me to use as a segue to tell this story. Holy shit! So I love jujitsu, obviously, and one of the fun things that the owner of the gym has is a little like a dummy training knife. Yeah, that you click a button,
love those.
And it's got a little taser on the tip of it. And so he'll just be walking around in the middle of class, and he'll just be like, "Here's a knife, guys," and he'll just drop it on the floor. You get to grab it and stab people with it. It's a lot of fun, especially when you can actually have time to click the button. I used it on one of my friends who's a black belt. Absolutely kicks my ass whenever he decides he wants to, except I stabbed him with it one time while we were rolling, and then proceeded to throw it across the room so he couldn't get me with it, and he pushed me off and went over, grabbed it, and while I was trying to grab him and like grab around the back of his waist so I could pick him up, basically suplex him backwards to keep him away from the knife, he managed to reach down and grab it and just like reached back around his body and started trying to stab me with it, which was right in line with my berries. So I had to like squat down and take it right in the belly button. So I was like, I'm gonna get him back for that later tonight. So while he was rolling with somebody else, I was like, give me that knife. And I oil checked him with a taser knife. And I have never seen someone react so quickly and so viscerally. He had his partner on top of him and was like kind of on his side when I did it. And as soon as I did, he just benched that person off his body. You're going this way now. I need to figure out what just went in my ass.
So there's two things that I'm going to make like scientific caveats for. All right. So one, actually three now, come to think of it. One, whenever you have a simulated knife in that area of the body, that's going to be especially painful because of the fact that that's physiologically, that's right by your spine. Mm-hmm. And that would just go shoom and fuck you up. Two, whenever you have like electrical stimulation of that area, also along with the spine is also something called the prostate, which when electrically, it make him jizz his pants essentially.
There were hopes involved in that moment. I'm well aware.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that also whenever electricity passes through, whenever electricity passes through soft muscle tissue like the ring piece, they tend to relax.
Yep.
And so he might get knocked out, jizz himself, and shit his pants at the same exact time with that sort of attack, which I'm surprised he didn't do at least one. At least one that he told you.
Maybe next time.
I would be pissed. No, the simulated knives, we used those when I was in the U.S. Army combatives classes. It was essentially like, you're sitting there fighting, and then all of a sudden the simulated knife comes out, and it stops being about the damn fight, and it's all about the knife. That's just what it turns into.
You need to torture your buddy.
It's no longer a fight. It's you have the knife or you're defending yourself against a knife. And that's it. You're no longer fighting a guy. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah. And fuck you. That's fucked up, man.
I was more of like, how do you know that much about electricity in relation to prostate stimulation?
Rico, so we are not here to kink shame Glenn.
The body itself is an electrical organic machine. And so, I mean, because most of the signals that we send throughout our body are sent via either one, chemical signals, or two, electrical signals via your nervous system. And so, if you have a short, right, then things happen. And so, also funny story. So back in the day, apparently Mark Twain and Nikola Tesla, they were like best buddies back in the day, right? And so Nikola Tesla had this machine that had a very high voltage but low amperage that was going across these two electrodes. Whenever he held these electrodes, using the Gaussian skin effect. Essentially, Gaussian flow allows electricity to flow over the surface of something. Whenever electricity flows, it doesn't flow through the thing; it flows over the thing. And so, what happened is that he was showing this thing off to Mark Twain, and because electricity going, and he was like, "This is amazing." He was like, "Well, hold on, don't do it too long," and then Mark Twain got this look on his face, apparently, that was shock and awe, because what happens whenever you have electricity flowing through your body, like I had said previously, it causes all your sphincters to open, and that's the sphincter in your stomach, the sphincter in your butt, several other sphincters, and so that was how I knew about that, was because of a quip from a story about Nikola Tesla and Mark Twain.
Sure, buddy, we believe you. It's okay.
But no, it's there's history has all sorts of crazy.
Better use 3 this time.
Right, but I was going to say that the history is just bereft with stuff that happened that a lot of people just don't think about, because historians aren't going to advertise that Mark Twain shat himself because he was doing something with Nikola Tesla, but it exists in
much
Mark
like
Twain
when you become a huge voice acting star, nobody's going to talk about the times you went to the ER with a Coke bottle up your butt. I mean,
it was Pepsi, thank you. no, it wasn't.
Their bottles are far more rigid, okay?
They're ribbed for your pleasure.
I'm just going to say no. I don't see the value in it. I'm just going to say, I want to be, 45 years old one day, 6 years from now, and not have to wear a diaper. Like, it's not exactly the most appealing look. So,
then you get to run up to people like, "Who's your diaper daddy?"
You do you, and we'll just nickname you Bad Dragon. It'll be fun.
I'm a good dragon, goddammit. But no, anyways, but that
if you know, you know.
I'm gonna finish off my week there. We're gonna stop after I've explained, I think, 4 scientific principles so far this podcast.
Yeah.
And let's go on to you, Hunter. See if I can interrupt you with anything else like that.
Good luck. So, who here's watched Letterkenny?
I love it.
Okay.
I've watched all episodes.
It's a very funny show.
Have you watched Shoresy yet?
I said I've
No,
watched
I
the
haven't.
entire first season in one sitting, and I enjoyed the second.
Shoresy is an absolutely amazing series. It follows Shoresy from Letterkenny, and it is what happens when he is in the senior hockey league, and trying to adopt the never lose again moniker, and the shenanigans that he gets up to in order to make his hockey team successful that he plays for. And it is the most Canadian show I've ever seen. And I was crying. I was laughing so hard. And my wife was almost crying. She was laughing so hard throughout every moment of the first season. Just to give you...
Just sitting there appreciating it, right?
Yeah, right. Rico, Nick, just to give you a glimpse into the wonderful humor that you are going to hear in the show. And I don't know if I can even get my voice this high with a Canadian accent, but you bet your sweet fucking Bippy we're going to win. Gonna make you cry harder than your dad did when I took your mom to prom. Like, that is the type of humor in that show, and it never fucking stops. It is so funny.
Oh,
and
that's some fucking not Newfoundland. No, what was it? There's Newfoundland and
it's Sudbury. It's Sudbury.
Yep,
is the accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, whenever Jared Kesso plays Wayne and Shoresy, right? It's not the same guy. Like you expect. I mean, it doesn't look like him. Oddly enough, like you see Wayne. Wayne is Wayne. You can see Wayne in Letterkenny. Wayne is Wayne. You never technically see Shoresy in Letterkenny, but he does speak. But when he plays Shoresy in Shoresy, like, it's a different guy completely. And like, that guy's acting ability is so fucking spectacular. I wish on the sad day that our beloved Hugh Jackman goes on to the afterlife, that Jared Kesso plays as Wolverine. He's Canadian.
He should be the next Canadian in
He's
line.
buff.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's Canadian. He's buff. I mean, height. I mean, he's normal sized, so I mean, he could pull it off. He's not going to be midget Wolverine, but the dude, I think, would make a spectacular Wolverine.
And we all know this is bullshit because the real Wolverine is Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't you want to hear Wolverine unsheath his claws? You're like, I'm gonna climb your mom like a tree tonight. It would be amazing. It's exactly
all right, that's fair.
Well, okay, no, I imagine his Wolverine would actually be closer to Wayne. Like
Probably,
it would be more.
but I prefer to think of it with the short.
It's just like, it's like, I honestly think like you just take Wayne, make him a little grislier, put him through that campaign that gave Hugh Jackman those spectacular abs for that one scene, and dye his hair, black instead of red. Like, it's there, dude. It's all it would take. Nothing more.
But yeah, if you there are means of watching it, and also if you don't have access to those, you can go to Hulu. All it takes is their cheapest subscription, and you have access to all the episodes. And it's so much fun. Nick, especially you will understand all of the humor, and you will love every moment of it. It is so good.
It's Shorzy.
Yes.
All right, I'll look into it.
Well, okay. Have you watched Letterkenny though?
Not all of it, but I've seen quite a bit of it.
Have you seen Letterkenny Problems, the YouTube channel that started that show?
No.
So yeah,
Snippets of it.
apparently, before Letterkenny the show started, it there was basically just Letterkenny Problems, which was the YouTube series that made the show Letterkenny, and those are hilarious. It's basically the cold openers from Letterkenny.
Okay.
They did, but they have those as that. That's the YouTube show.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's. I'm just gonna say this: like, Letterkenny is the closest thing that we have to modern Shakespeare with the way that they present things. No, like in terms of like with the way that they do different proses, different callbacks, the placement of the characters, the way that they speak, like the whole nine yards. It's fucking Shakespeare, right? Whereas Shorzy is not necessarily Shakespeare, but maybe something else. But I mean, it's hard to compare the two.
Shakespeare on a meth bender in Canada?
No. I mean, maybe a Schneef bender, but not meth. You ever take a dinger off a? Yeah. Anyways, right. Anyways, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, y'all gotta watch it. It's so good. You'll love it so much. Wednesday, I'm on the last episode of the first season with my wife. She's now seen it 3 times. I'm going through it for the first time. It's a really fun show.
Okay.
I did not think I would like it nearly as much as I have. Like, the Addams Family has always been like kind of fun, but they did a really good job making it like a modern TV show while also still feeling kind of dated and really closed off and part of the Addams Family universe in a way that's really engaging. It's really fun to look at, and all the characters are fun. Like they all serve a purpose. They're all really unique. It's a really good jumping off point for them to sort of relaunch the Addams Family universe.
How is Luis? What is it, Luis with a G?
Guzman.
Yeah, how is Luis Guzman as Gomez? Because he looks almost exactly like the fucking comic book character. It is uncanny.
He is unreasonably perfect in the role, and I mean he was Bingo before Bluey existed. Like, he is the ideal of what a husband and a father should be, and I absolutely love how that is It's something you can go off and be like, that's somebody I want to be, because you watch him and you see everything that is. And I mean, even all the old school Addams Family, right? Like he conveyed the same type of personality, everything, but he does it so well in this series, and it's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Bluey. Something funny happened earlier today, oddly enough, to where my kids said mentioned the word bumworms. So my dear cat Jonesy, the one that you heard yowl earlier, she had a sticky note that was stuck to her bottom, and I went over to take it off of her with my foot, and I wasn't able to. And then she sat down, tried to scrape it off, and so I put my toe on it in order to you know urge her forward to get it off of her fur. What I didn't know it was that it was in fact pasted on there, and she left a trail behind on the kitchen floor, and my kids were like, "Oh my god, she's got bumworms!" And like that was uh, I was pissed. I had to clean
If
it up
you had
with
actually seen the show, Nick, you wouldn't have that confused look on your
Okay.
face, like, why the fuck are we talking about this right now?
I'm trying to figure out where
Yeah.
bum worms and Bluey come like mix, but okay, I'll take it.
yeah, it's a reference for all you Bluey fans out there. But yeah,
I think
I
we're
don't
called
think-
healers.
Yeah. What?
so disinfectant, lots of paper towels, various cuss words, and one very sad cat later.
Well,
Everything was
I
okay
don't think
again.
there's many things on the planet that if something's pasted to their ass and it gets ripped off, they're going to be happy campers.
Yeah, I mean it's
I always appreciate the wax strips. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, but
like
you
an
just have
unpleasant
weird
tickle.
kinks.
Yeah,
There's-
it's an unpleasant
there-
tickle. It is what it is.
it wasn't a wax strip as more of a a skid mark on my kitchen floor.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
interjection for bumworms.
Appreciate it. I also watched the first episode of Agatha all along,
Bumworms.
and I agree with Rico. It's a fun show. I'm interested to see how the second and third episodes are. I just haven't had time to circle back around to it yet, because I found. Well, okay, so this is what I don't appreciate about the modern day streaming era that we live in. There are so many options out there now that there is content and really good shows out there that I have no idea
Mhm.
exist, or that the people, like actors that I enjoy watching, are even in them. It's so hard to figure out unless you are on Netflix or Prime. Some people, I guess, Hulu, if you bother to pay for that. Like, it's easy to find them, but on like HBO Max or Stars or MGM or any of the other dumb ones, like, or Paramount Plus, like, you're never gonna find these shows because nobody wants to pay for those services. And I learned that there was a show called Heels with Stephen Amell.
Oh, yeah.
It's a show about a family in the professional wrestling industry that control an organization in their territory in a modern day setting, but they live the kayfabe life.
Oh.
Like, he and the series starts up with the battle between he's the baby face, his brother, or he's the heel, his brother's the baby face, and they have a match coming up, and so they can't be seen out in public together, or if they see each other they gotta scowl and like be mean and everything else. You can't curse, you can't do all that fun jazz. You gotta maintain character in and out of the ring for your entire life, basically. And I'm only 3 episodes into it because I found it one night and I binged it before I went to sleep. But so far it's really fun. It's a struggling organization. Obviously, there's another organization coming up that's kind of like the WCW in the early days. Lots of pyrotechnics, lots of flash, lots of eye candy, basically, to draw people in, and they're threatening to take over their territory and pull their fighters and everything else. They mentioned the WWE in there as well, for like guys on the roster being able to go up through their farm system. So it's really neat. I'm not sure how it's going to compare to the Golden Eagle, right?
Or glitter, for that matter.
Fair. The A24 film with Zac Efron. I can't remember the Iron Eagle.
No, the Iron Claw.
The Iron Claw. There you go. Because that was absolutely amazing. But so far, this is really fun. And Amel has been in, like, he had a match at AEW. Like a real, it wasn't just a celebrity match. Like he's like, I want to be in this match. It needs to be long. We need to tell a story. You need to pin me clean. Like, I want this to be a real match. That was his first real match that he did. And like, since then he's joined the Bullet Club. He did the stunts for this show.
What's his name?
He did, Stephen Amell. He was Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Huge wrestling fan.
Yes.
What is the Bullet Club? That sounds interesting.
So it's Johnny Omega, apparently Stephen Amell, and then there's one other.
Cody Rhodes is still a member.
Cody Rhodes is still part of it. What's his name? It starts in AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Yeah.
AJ Styles was part of it. It started in New Japan. Then when they came over here, they convinced, I forget his name. I think it was like something Tony Khan, and to start AEW, and it kind of started with the Bullet Club.
Yeah, and so he's a celebrity. He's always loved wrestling. He's done real matches. He did a coast to coast. That was the first thing that they shot on this
his
show.
coast to coast was fucking beautiful.
Well, he did it one time, and he screwed his back up when he did it in the AEW match, and then he tried to do it for the show as well. It was the first scene that they did, and he landed straight upright and broke his lower back, and so they had to delay filming for a few weeks. And he also was doing,
which is funny because for him fucking up at coast to coast, it was clean. Like, it was a clean coast to coast.
Right, he was filming. He was actually filming Arrow previously when he did that AEW match, and he goofed the coast to coast, and he was injured, and he also screwed up his back with that one. And the doctors basically told him, "You're good to do all the stunts and everything you want to do. You just need to take it slow, and you're just going to delay the healing process." And it was the last season of Arrow, and so the production was already pretty tight, and so he had to pull everybody aside. He's like, "Hey, I know I didn't get permission to do this wrestling match, but I am very hurt right now. And so we still need to do all the scenes. I'm going to do all the stunts and everything I can normally do, but just know I'm going to hurt myself along the way when I do it." So like, he's very dedicated to the craft, and like, he's willing to take bumps in the show and in the ring and everything else. So like, it was really cool to see him, the fact that he actually got this show, and he had told his producer, because once I learned of this, I really had to dive deep before I started watching it. He told his manager when Arrow finished, he's like, "I don't want to do a long-running show. I don't want to do anything physical. I want to break, maybe give me a romantic comedy or something, just something easy to ease back into." And 2 days later, his manager called and was like, "Okay, I know what you said, but I promise you're going to want to read this script." He sent him the script, and within reading 2 pages of it, he sent his manager back a text like, "Yeah, I'm doing it. Let's go." And he read through the script like 3 times that night.
So you mentioned coast to coast like 7 times. What is that exactly?
So coast to
I'm
coast
assuming
is
it's a
when
move.
it's from opposite turnbuckles. You start at the top on the 3rd rope, and you do a missile drop kick into a chair, while the other person is kind of tied up on the opposite turnbuckle. So it's called a coast to coast because you're flying from, like, diagonally from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring. So a coast to coast. Shane McMahon has been doing the coast to coast since the early 90s, and I swear to God, every time he does, he gets better as he ages. Like, the last coast to coast he did, I think it was at WrestleMania 28 or something like that, and it was, the man took years off his life doing it, but it looked fucking beautiful.
That
You're gonna
man
have to
took
send
years
me
off
like
his
a
life
clip
with
of someone
everything he's
doing
done in the
doing
ring.
this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I could send you something, Glenn. And I still have not finished Outer Wilds because I know that I'm going to need 3 or 4 hours to just sit down and dedicate myself to figure out how I'm going to beat that game. And I'm already frustrated at it just thinking about it. So I was like, I need to give myself a break for a week or 2. So hopefully this next week I'm going to finish that game. And I did start playing.
Did you find the button yet? I'm joking.
For a moment there, I was like, shit, did I miss the button? What's the button? So I'm gonna see if I can remember this game. Stupid name of this game. Trading card game
Simulator.
shop
Yep.
owner simulator.
Yep.
Trading card.
I mentioned that like 3 weeks ago.
TCG.
Yeah, and that's what made me start trying it because I have his gaming library, and so like, all right, I'll try it. I'm not gonna spend $20 on it, but I'll try it. I played it for a couple of hours, and it was kind of fun, but like as the shop gets busier, I was like, okay, now I've got to hire an employee. Now I've got to continue stocking shelves
And
while
that
he does the
first
registration and everything
employee
else
is
and all the
fucking
cards.
slow.
Oh, the first employee was trash. I fired him within a day, and I paid $1,000 for the next one up. But it's just a micromanagement simulator. Like it's nothing about it is fun yet. Yeah, you get the dopamine hit of opening the trading card packs and like, oh man, I think the most expensive card I pulled was like $1,400, which was cool. Like I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, this is gonna get me some more cases to hold cards and stuff. But there's not enough content in that game to make it a worthwhile investment of your time. And there are people dumping tens and tens of hours into their shops to make them look and feel the way they want them to, but you can't trade cards, you can't play the game yet, you can't even sell equipment in your store. You just have to trash it and then wait for more money to come in so you can build it up and everything. Like it is the most bare bones mobile version of that type of game I think I've played in a long time. And I get it's in an early release phase and everything, but I don't understand how anyone wants to play that game for more than a couple hours.
Yeah, that seems fair because I think I usually go about 2-3 hours when I play it.
I mean,
30 minutes for me.
Oh, total. I don't know. There's something about it. I just really like doing
it. Wage job without getting paid to do a minimum wage job.
Yeah, that's true.
Why would I want to go to work all day and then come home, hang out with my family, put them to bed, do all that, and then be like, all right, let's manage my card shop that I don't actually get paid for.
You know what's really funny is like I'm thinking like there's several games that are like within that same sort of genre and sell different shit. I wonder if there's like some sort of subliminal dopamine, something that we receive from games in general that is being broadcast via this game in order to train the AI for the robots that we eventually will have take over all retail.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm kidding.
But no, I don't know. Something about it. There's something about that like overwhelming feeling of, oh, I gotta restock the shelves. Oh, but I got a line of like 10 customers I have to bust through really quick. And oh, that guy, it like smells like shit. I need to go spray him down. Something about that whole hustle and bustle speaks to me.
So it reminds you of when you were overworked, underpaid, coming into work with a hangover every day, and you reeked of cigarettes at McDonald's. Yes. Like, why is this something that you want to go back to and relive? That's not the nostalgia I'm after in my life.
I miss it, man.
Damn,
if there was an opposite of PTSD, I guess I'm a masochist.
Yes, you have to be to enjoy this game. What's up, Rico?
I said he's a glutton for punishment.
Oh, dude, I'd kill for a fucking like fast food simulator. Like that would be. You guys wouldn't see me for a month.
Dude, they have like 7 of them.
And I refuse to get any of them because I know I will not come.
Stop playing?
I won't stop playing. There's something about that. There's something about that like flow that it spoke to me on a weird level.
You need to
At this
go
point in my life,
probably.
I'm surprised at the amount of simulators that are out there for different games. I mean, you
it's
have
a ton.
Simulator for. I think they're on the 7th
everything.
Simulator.
4th goat simulator, and then there's deer simulator. There's squirrel with a gun. There's a
YouTube simulator where basically you run a team of YouTubers that do stuff like this.
Kurosoft has just the entirety of the dev games down on lock, like game dev simulator, which is fucking awesome, by the way. So yeah, no, there are hundreds upon hundreds.
So if anyone from the Better Health marketing department is listening to this podcast and would like to sponsor us, my brother really needs some cheap therapy sessions. For him.
Better help. I don't
know. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much my
name
week.
Of a stripper over in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
Your mom lived in Augusta, Rico.
Huh? What?
Oh,
said my mom?
That was about my week. I think I might have watched something else here or there, but nothing really of substance. And I'm pretty sure that was the weeks of everyone we care about. So what do we want to talk about next?
cunt. Absolute capital C cunt.
No, my name starts with an H, and there's an E and an R at the end of it. You're so close though. Though my nickname in college was Cunter, Fartwat.
Cunter fartwat. Oh, that's so good.
Now I can see you
Hunter
growing
don't
your
even
hair
know
like
her.
that. Stupid.
Fucking hell. So my week. Thank
No,
you.
we skipped you.
Fuck you.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Oh, y'all a bunch of assholes. So
I
I
played a weeaboo game.
That is exactly what you sound like. That is the best impression you've done in ages.
that's rough. That's harsh. Fuck you. Anyway, I was watching a little bit more Trailer Park Boys. I think I'm on like the second to last season. And then I found out that I only have two active users on my Netflix app before it says there's too many users. So I had to stop watching Trailer Park Boys because Leon's watching some weeb shit and my wife's watching wife shit. So I decided to peruse the old the old personal streaming service and wound up on a little show called Banshee. Have y'all ever heard of Banshee?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
I
So
want to screech in this mic real bad right now.
Yes, Homelander.
why? Oh,
Said Banshee.
yeah, no fair. So Banshee stars Anthony Starr. He plays a ex-con, just got out of prison, goes to this little rink-a-dink town because he's looking for someone. And it's weird. The show is almost like a joke where it's like, you know, a convict walks to just gets out of jail, walks to a bar. The sheriff dies, and now he becomes a sheriff. Like it sounds like the start of like a comedy show. But they kind of take that premise and roll with it. So he ends up just like assuming this new guy's identity because he's like new in town, going to become the sheriff. And it's just a fucking twisted show. It's really, really good. I will say this though, definitely not one you can watch with kids around or possibly wives because it is a Cinemax TV series. And if we all remember Skinemax when we were children, it's still alive and well because there is a lot of nudity and
How did y'all get through Game of Thrones?
Oh no, dude! There's
never
some
watched
sex scenes in
Oh,
this
no,
that are way
boobies.
more hardcore than Game of Thrones.
You know, it's kind of interesting with Anthony Starr. The strangest thing I've seen him in recently, apart from the obvious ones, he was advertising for like some like bullshit like Chinese spyware app, Total War or something like that.
Oh, there you go.
And but he was on the advertisement. I was like, is that fucking Anthony Starr playing a malware game?
So, fun fact about Anthony Starr: you want to know another movie that he's in? Have you ever seen Without a Paddle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Many times.
Anthony Starr is the friend that dies. That's the one they're doing that they're going to go find the money for. That was Anthony Starr. I just watched it like maybe a year or two ago. I was like, oh, hey, I know that face. But yeah, no, he was the best friend that died in Without a Paddle.
That took him a hot minute to get big.
Yeah, it did. It did. But no, yeah. So Banshee's really good. I highly recommend it, especially if you like kind of gritty police dramas. I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, no, it's really, really good.
I got Sibowitz tattooed on my right butt cheek.
Nice. For reading, because I am, as we've all established, illiterate, I've been listening to the audiobook of the Warhammer series Siege of Terra. I don't remember exactly which book it is in the series, but it's the prelude to the end. The End and the Death, Volume 1. I got all 3 volumes on Audible. So it's the final days of the Horus Heresy. So it's the book that finally says what happened on the Vengeful Spirit when the Emperor died, essentially. It is fucking amazing. If any of you guys do want to listen to it, like you want to get into it, you can listen to the first 3 Horus Heresy novels. Those are the ones that focus on Gavial Loken and like the beginning, like before the heresy starts and like the lead up to it. That'll give you a good primer to get into the series, and you get to follow one of my favorite characters. And yeah, no, it's really good. But for the End of the Death, I don't know how this got broken up into 3 volumes, because where I'm at feels like maybe a little past the halfway point of the book, and they are about to board the Vengeful Spirit, and that's what pretty much leads right to the, and what I think should lead right to the end. So it's going at a pace, but you know, it's really, really good. Like, I actually really recommend the Horus Heresy novels. They've been fucking fun.
That's great. Yeah, I'll have to check that out in Barnes & Noble. I've been reading a lot of books recently too.
So here's the thing: if you know anything about the Horus Heresy, maybe do like a YouTube video dive on it and just read like the first 3 novels, because it's 68 books before you get to the Siege of Terra, and then the Siege of Terra is like
Child's
18
play.
books. All right, fair enough.
When you say 60 plus books, are these like 200 pages each though?
No, they are thick fuckers.
Or like 350?
I think Galaxy in Flames was almost
This is
700.
Nico we're talking about, so maybe 17 might be a little thick for him.
That's fair. I assumed that they were big words on the page with lots of pictures though.
No, they're it's small print. Looks like maybe a 9 size font. Maybe
How many
10.
words can they fit on a cardboard book like that?
It's not a cardboard book, dude. Fuck you. Oh, you are a dick. Anyway, I've been listening
Did
to
Miss
that.
Rachel
It's
read
really
that
good.
to you?
Fuck off. For games, not really much. I bought a bunch of games, I just haven't touched it. Oh, wait, no, that's a lie. Space Marine 2 fucking rocks. I got Space Marine 2. Much like you, I am playing on the what they call the intended version of the game, so like the one step down from the hardest difficulty. It is really, really fun. Tyranids explode into puddles of mushy goo real good. And no flex, but I was able to get through the tutorial without dying, and it didn't take me forever like it did you, Rico, so...
Hold on, we got a badass over here.
Believe me, from the bottom of my soul, I can promise you, hand to the big guy up there, no one in this world will ever believe that you will try to flex, successfully or unsuccessfully, on anyone else.
Unless it's a contest of naming all their favorite waifus.
I think I could win that one.
Or, trying to unsuccessfully convince people that Doom is not an arena shooter.
Fuck all of y'all. Oh, actually, I do have some news. I will say that. There is news. For any retro gaming fans, specifically the PlayStation 1 era, next month, I think November 11th, sorry. November 11th will be the release date for Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. It's going to be on all consoles. So I'm super excited for that because it looks like they did a really good job with it. As well as in...
How many voxels did they add?
It wasn't voxels. It was wire mesh.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know what Soul Reaver is, Glenn?
I do know what Soul Reaver is.
Oh, okay.
It's like a super edgelord game from the PS1 era.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. What are you talking about? But yeah, so that's coming out in November. And in February, I think it was February, they are releasing a remaster of Lunar 1 and 2. on all modern consoles, and that's going to be great. So both of those were, I'd say they were some of the reasons why both those games were some of the reasons why I got into why I love Japanese RPGs, because the Lunar series is really, really good. And
Cool.
yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got.
I think Dead. You said remastered. I think Dead Space is going to be one of the next free games on PlayStation.
Yeah, I heard about. I did hear something about that. If you haven't played it, that game is awesome.
Is it remastered or just the original?
No, it's a remake. It's a full-on remake. They did wonders with Dead Space.
I
I'm not gonna
appreciate the fact that they're updating games to a new generation of folks, but I mean, like, dude, like, I don't know.
Is it even 10 years old?
It feels like it's either an overbloated AAA or
No.
a underwritten indie game, but we're never getting any of the new standard games that come out. You know what
I get that, but at the same time, it's like we're
where's my
not
System Shock
starved
3?
for video games, so it doesn't matter. Like whatever the AAA companies come out with, who cares? There's like 10 to 20,000 other developers who just publish something somewhere. Like that's why I don't mind a lot of these like remakes coming out, because like remasters make it easier to play things, and then remakes just it's cool. Like honestly, the remake for Demon Souls is fucking awesome, and that was just the same game with better graphics.
For the System Shock 1 game actually made it playable. Which
what?
Yeah.
System Shock's totally playable. What the fuck are you talking about?
The OG System Shock.
I love System Shock.
I love it too.
We are about 2 weeks away from the 16th anniversary of the first Dead Space game, but still, like, it came out in 2008. Do we really need a full-on remake of it now at this point?
I mean, in all fairness, like I have the remake. I've played it. It's really, really good.
But did you need a remake?
No, because I still have the old one. I mean, there is some extended content in it, but did we need it? No. Do I appreciate it? Yeah.
Fair enough. I admit that their cash grab is probably doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
No, I'm calling bullshit on it.
Resident Evil 3
Resident
Evil 3 just came out on GOG today.
No, you don't get to move on because you have told me ad fucking nauseum about the fact that you play games in 1080p.
Yeah. So
in what world is the original Dead Space, which you can also play in 1080p,
yeah,
not acceptable for your terrible old man eyes?
I didn't say it
what
wasn't
could they
acceptable.
possibly
There's extra
do
content.
to remake.
No, I
and-
just said
and
I
redo the
don't
game
say
to
I
make it better.
I literally said I appreciate it,
Explain
not that
yourself.
that I needed it or wanted it. I said that
You appreciate it, but what are you appreciating? The additional, the maybe hour of extra gameplay that you're gonna get out
like
of it?
the newer lighting system makes it like a lot creepier feeling. Like there's nice little touches to it. Did we need it? Probably not, but I do like that it exists.
But again, okay, so the lighting system looks a little bit better for you. That's
I
your
would say
biggest selling
it's like
point of
night and
why
day.
you like this game.
But I don't dislike the old one. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't understand.
Quit
what would
putting words
compel
in
you
my
to
mouth,
purchase
you
this.
cuck.
I'm never going to put anything in your mouth. But also, I do not understand, based on what you have told me, has compelled you to purchase this game a second time and make it worthwhile for you to have it. Because all you said is it's kind of nice to have something new, and the lighting is improved. And I think remaking AAA games for the sake of remaking them to get more money and adding maybe an hour or two of content is the dumbest thing possible, and no one should pay for it.
Exactly. I have poor impulse control. What the fuck of it?
So the reason why you purchase the game and why you appreciate it is because you have poor financial skills?
Sure. Yeah, that's the exact reason.
Convince me of why this is a thing that you would want to spend money on and play.
It looked
Why is
cool.
it better than
It
the
looked
original?
cool. I don't. It's maybe it's
It
not.
looked
I
cool
don't
in
fucking know.
1080p.
Yeah. Who cares about the resolution? Like I'm not following your logic here.
If you're going to remake a game,
Yeah.
and they clearly did it with the idea of making the graphics be one of the big selling points, because like
Okay.
you mentioned, the lighting system was something that was really improved. it's going to be something that's going to look really cool on a big 4K TV or 4K monitor where you're going to really be able to immerse yourself in this game. But if you are playing this on a 1080p monitor with a 2070 series card, you're not playing it on ultra settings.
Yeah, I am.
Which means you're going back through. Then they did not do a good enough job updating this game.
Okay. I don't see where this argument is going, so cool.
I don't think you, as someone who uses arguably outdated gaming or a gaming PC and monitor, is going to get additional value that is going to make this worth your money to buy an updated version of this game. And I would like to know, other than poor financial management skills, what compels you to want to purchase and play this over the original?
So over the original, there was a lot of quality of life improvements, like just the way the game controls feels a lot better. The new enemy damage system sounded kind of cool. Like the whole like degloving thing was gross and awesome at the same time. So like there's little nuances about it that made me go, ooh, I'm very interested in this.
Okay,
it doesn't
wouldn't you
invalidate
rather-
the fact that I like and play the original. It's just I like the different take.
Sure, but
It
why
can
would you
exist
want
in the
this-
same vacuum.
Sure, but if this is a game studio which clearly produces fun games and enjoyable games for you to play, then why would you want to support their efforts to remake a game that they've already made, which is already really great, rather than funneling those resources and creating something new that you can enjoy?
Because I wanted to play it. It looked interesting to me. That's my reasoning. I don't give a shit.
I don't think we're going anywhere.
No,
with this.
no.
We're
This
not.
is
We never
no.
are, but
If
I
this
enjoy having this
motherfucker
record.
wants to run this record around and around, let's do it. I'll sit here and just with stupid look on my face the whole night.
You
Well, I
do
mean,
anyway. We're having this argument.
So if it makes you happy, WWE 2K24 is also going to be another free game in October
Nice.
on the PlayStation Plus thing, and
That's
Doki Doki or Doki Doki Literature Club is another one.
Which one? Oh, Doki
that's a
Doki Literature
classic.
Club. That game's
Yep.
fucked up. It's great.
Oh yeah, I love that. It's that I appreciate storytelling like that because of the fact that, like, whenever it was first advertised, nobody knew. Like nobody knew, and then people started seeing stuff like, "The fuck," like it was the whenever that first came out, that was fucking peak. That's awesome.
Oh, I watched 30 minutes of Dragon Ball Sparking, the new fighting game that they're coming out with. It's supposed to be like a Tenkaichi or the Budokai spiritual successor.
Gameplay?
Yes.
Or
Or like
Yeah, no,
Dragon
full
Ball
gameplay,
spanking.
like actual gameplay. It looks real fun. It
100
looks like Budokai 3.
182 characters.
Oh yeah, no, that
Really
roster
good.
is fucking
So does
Pat.
that mean
Like-
I get to fuse Yamcha and Piccolo again?
hell yeah.
No,
God.
like, for real, is that a thing?
They might be. I mean, I don't. That was Budokai 4 that did that, right? It was one of them. I don't think it was Tenkaichi. I think it was one of the like mainline Budokais.
Yeah, I thought it was 3, but it might have been.
Could have been. Oh, I also want to say I bought Phantom Fury. It's the sequel to Ion Fury, the build engine shooter that came out 2-3 years ago. It's really fun. I think it gets a lot of negative. It just gets a lot of negative reviews due to the fact that it's not as good as it could have been, I guess. But it's a competent first-person shooter in the vein of like Quake 2. So I like it.
Cool.
Man, fuck you. Anyway,
No, I'm just saying.
This is everyone
What the-
pick on Nick Hour. This is enjoyable for me.
why do I do this shit? I swear, I could be watching Banshee. I could be doing something fun. So I have to
This
get.
isn't fun for you? This is fun for us.
Yeah.
I'm having quite the time.
It's cool, bro. So what do you want to talk about?
I think we've just about covered it on the banter in between. This is a mishmash. I do have a shout out though. This shout out is to my dear cousin Guy, who I introduced to our podcast a couple of days ago.
He is going to be having a baby shower this weekend for his first child, and for that, hey guy, I love you, and this shout out goes to you, bro. Keep being huge. He's so tall. He's the tallest guy in my family.
Good. Like, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. No, he's like, I'm the biggest guy in my immediate family whenever I was
Would you say he's kind of girthy or is he kind of veiny?
Stop me when I get to the right.
I personally don't know, but I've heard stories. No, just kidding. No. No, he's just a big dude that like could probably like, wrestle the cows that, he helped raise whenever he was growing up.
God.
Like the dude is like a force to be reckoned with. Like the football coaches, whenever he was growing up, I was told, were like salivating over the fact of having him on their team, but his mom said no because she didn't want him getting hurt. But now he's a working man, happily married to his wife, and they're having a baby on the way. So yeah, that's why I wanted to give the shout out, because I hope you're listening, guy. And if you aren't, well, I'll tell you about this later, and you can find this at the end of the episode. So,
congratulations, you jolly green giant.
He is he is a jolly green for sure.
Release dates. October 1st, you can purchase and stream Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's going up on Amazon for sale. And then I want to say October 11, Hellboy: The Crooked Man will be on streaming services.
I'm sad that's not going to theaters.
I am too. I was excited to go see it, but I guess my October movie is now going to be Terrifier 3. So
that was releasing around the same time as Terrifier 3. So,
I think so. Yeah, it was like towards the end of the month. That's why I think it wasn't going to make it. Like, out of R-rated movies, people are going to go see Terrifier 3 over Hellboy.
Yeah.
I guess, but you've got Dumpuary for February, and October really is no different. You have horror movies, and I guess the beginning of November is really along the same lines. Like, just push it back to the first week of November. You get a few weeks of sales out of it before they start throwing, like, the holiday movies into the mix. It's just, it was weird to just send it straight to streaming. Like, it can't be that
You would have think they would have at least done a small run at, like, Alamo Drafthouse or something.
Absolutely.
No,
yeah.
That's why when we talked about this last time, and I get where you guys were coming. I get part of the reason why you guys were coming with your opinion on it. I just felt like it the way the footage looked like it was either some type of thing that went straight to video, B-level footage or whatever. That's the reason why I didn't like how the trailer was.
I mean, I get that, but I'm also getting vibes of this is like what Hellboy would actually be like, because Mike Manigold or something like that.
He wrote
the creator of Hellboy is the one who's like is behind a lot of this. So that's why I'm like, I'm very excited.
You said it's as close to the book that you can get, but the problem is if your production doesn't meet what the writing is there, it's not appealing. I mean, again, to give credit to Del Toro, that's two big names that you had, Del Toro and Perlman.
Mm-hmm.
When you got
How dare you respect David Harbour like that?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, speaking of David Harbour, did y'all see the Thunderbolts trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of it?
I mean, it looks fun. I'm very curious to know what the asterisk is in the name.
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
I don't think this is going to be the final team.
Yeah, it does have that kind of feeling to it.
I got the vibe. I very much got the vibe from it of we had to pivot because we realized we lost a really big star and a really big plot point in Steven Yeun when he was going to become Sentry.
Yep.
If you're not aware, during the Dark Sentry or the Dark Reign series, it basically ends with him being the bad guy and he transforms like a demon trying to kill everybody on New Asgard on Earth. So like it felt like that's what they were going to want to set him up for, because I didn't see what else you'd really want to do with the character, because otherwise he's just a budget version of Superman.
Yeah.
And now they're like, we don't really know what to do. This movie might not have a very strong plot, so we're going to put this asterisk in the title and we're going to make this mysterious, and that's how we're going to get engagement for this film.
Fair.
The Thunderbolts, that has Rick Flag in it, right?
No, that's the Suicide Squad.
That's Suicide Squad. That's DC.
That's Suicide. Okay,
yeah,
right.
But the Thunderbolts is Marvel's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, they just don't. They don't have somebody that's good leading the team. They're all
Yeah.
bad guys, and the team's named after General Thunderbolt.
Although I am glad
okay.
to see it's Wyatt Russell, right? I'm glad to see him back as
Yeah.
U.S. agent because
Yeah.
he's pretty fucking cool.
He does a great job of slowly losing his mind in
And
the Falcon and Winter Soldier series.
What's crazy is I thought he was like one of the best parts of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was not a huge
No,
fan. I was not a
Zemo,
huge fan of
for
it.
sure.
Okay, yeah, Zemo was really fucking good too. But that was the thing. The villains were the best part of that show, aside from like the group of weird jumpy dudes. I wasn't a big fan of their whole plot line. But like Zemo,
The bad guys are always the bad guys are the plot of any show like that.
yeah, but the problem was you started rooting for them more than you did the heroes.
Dude, it was Lethal Weapon in a comic book universe. What's there not to love about that show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm getting
I
too
love you,
old for
Hunter.
this shit.
Brother, not so much. Because I found the show very good.
That's fair.
No, I mean the show. The way the show is, and we talked about this before, where it's like, for me, it felt like two aspects. Again, if you pull the military experience they both have, it's Falcon trying to find his position, seeing how Isaiah Bradley was when it comes to America. So that's a little bit of a reality that we see now for certain individuals.
Isn't it Isaiah
Trying to
Bradley
figure
coming back for Thunderbolts or something like that?
He was the
Thunderbolts, I don't know, but
antagonist in
he's in
the
the
trailer.
Captain American woman.
Okay.
I mean, woman. But yeah, and even with Bucky, this is trying to find his place dealing with not only the trauma from war, but what he's done in the past or whatever. That's what makes it solid. The whole jumping thing, I get that.
I just
I think it
wasn't.
was just
I think I wasn't a big fan of like the main protagonist, whereas I like the kind of like the other protagonists more. I felt like they should have more time.
Mackie?
It depends on how you look at it, because you could say the main protagonist was just the government. That you
Oh,
had a situation
sorry,
where everybody
antagonist. What the
disappeared.
fuck am I talking about?
Yeah. So everybody disappeared, and then they reappeared. And how does the government deal with that? But of course, the government's going to be the government, and it's a crap show. So it's trying to find everything. Everybody, Steve Rogers not there no more. So again, Falcon is trying to figure out what this shield means to him, especially since he listens to Isaiah Bradley's story, which, regardless of anybody wants to believe it and not, the government has experimented on folks. I mean, they've done it from run tests on black people as well as Puerto Ricans too. I mean, America's history is always like that. So the fact that they touched on that again, it shows a controversy within a story. Then, like to Hunter's point, you got Anthony Mackie and you got Sebastian's their attitudes as far as their characters and how they coalesce on that part. Which I mean, I don't think it helped. I don't necessarily help the show when the Falcon did ask Bucky, "Where were you January 6th?" But
Well, are you all familiar with the Tuskegee experiment?
Yes.
That sounds really, really familiar.
Yeah, that was
Is that's what was the basis for Men Who Stare at Goats, right?
no, it was not. No, the Tuskegee experiment was something that the U.S. government did, where it began in what was it, 1932, and essentially a whole bunch of these gentlemen, they were in Macon County, Alabama. They were recruited to this study for the promise of free medical care, and that essentially they were either, well, they were infected with syphilis and then told that they were cured by this program, and then basically they just kind of let it go so that the people who had syphilis, they could study essentially the progression as the disease went on. And these guys got really, really, really fucking sick and infected a whole bunch of people. Yeah, look it up. It's pretty interesting.
the crazy thing
Science.
is,
Well, there was no known cure for syphilis at the time, and
Yeah.
so this is
The part of that-
before antibiotics.
yeah. The crazy thing about it was that they didn't tell because again, these were black sharecroppers, and they were trying to figure out, the U.S. government was trying to figure out the different effects, for how does affect black people versus or black men versus white men.
Mm-hmm.
And then even then, nothing was known about this until I think it took a nurse to whistleblow after it was discovered, like, man, this is like really unethical, whatever. Then when that came out, the government being the way it is, first denied it until later on stuff started coming out. They're like, well, like Hunter said, for science. Or as Gus says, science.
Somebody posted a movie trailer. It wasn't called Brothers. It was called the one with Michael B. Jordan. Sinners. That looks really fucking good.
Yes.
Like, aside from them, what looks to be like demon hunters or something, it looks really fucking cool.
You said demons. I think it's gonna be vampires. Maybe they go kind of the route of 30 days.
Okay.
30 days.
It's definitely gonna be something supernatural. That's for sure. Oh, two other things. There is a
Aliens.
new. There is a shit. Was it The Fog? There's a new Stephen King. Oh, Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot is getting a new little like mini series coming out, or a movie. Sorry, it's getting a movie. It looks really good. The other one, there is a RoboCop TV show that was picked up by Amazon.
Yeah.
Is this an actual RoboCop show?
Actual RoboCop in production.
Dope.
Yeah.
I've seen the announcement, but I forget
Who's playing? Who's playing?
They don't have any of that info out
RoboCop?
right now.
Damn.
Yeah, but like it's just there was a I saw an article today about there being about something to do with RoboCop's new TV show. I was like, oh, interesting.
Jared Kesso would be a great RoboCop.
I thought Joel Kinnaman would have until I saw the 2013 RoboCop.
That didn't mean he wasn't a good RoboCop.
He was the right actor in the wrong movie.
Correct. You very, very correct.
Honestly, I don't know why they went for the black suit. The silver suit looks so much fucking cooler.
I mean, it still looked dope.
Like
it's still
it did,
really
but it
cool.
was too sleek and tactical, as Michael Keaton put it.
What else are you going to expect of a modern day rendition?
I know. I'm just an old man screaming at clouds.
You're going to be screaming at the wall soon. So, like, at least you're still going outside.
Yeah. All right. I say, unless anyone else objects, podcast.
I think we're good, man.
Want to get a dig in?
Okay. Well,
Nico smells like poop.
fuck off.
Thanks, Glenn.
Oh, Captain Dick Tickler of the Sacred NASCAR Arena, what is your wisdom today?
I didn't prepare anything.
That's fair. You can just do a something, insert something lewd, something profit.
No. All of the advice I give on this podcast is very relevant. It's very topical to our conversation, and it provides value in our listeners' lives. And I'm not just going to throw out some grandiose notion into the universe that does not apply to those strict standards that I have applied for myself. So I will come back next week, bigger, better, and louder than ever.
I mean, I would imagine that a lesson,
Yeah,
if anything,
Queen.
we learned
Yeah.
today from you, Hunter, is that never stab a black belt that can kick your ass with a synthetic knife in the gooch.
First of all, it
No
was not
poop
a
shoot
douche.
plundering
It
for
was
you.
straight on that chocolate starfish.
Ooh.
And second, it worked out okay for me in the end, so maybe give it a shot.
Okay, fair enough.
Rico, any
If-
advice
if you-
for the listeners?
I mean, with everything going on, all the information we discuss on this podcast, I think at the end of the day, you just got to secure your sphincters.
Wash them assholes, kids. Wash them assholes. Anyway,
Don't cure it. It's whatever you're into. We don't just
have a good night.
Drink water.
Good night, everybody.